After the months-long stalemate of intra-Afghan negotiations, the Afghan government and the Taliban finally agreed to initiate the long-awaited peace talks after resolving the dispute over prisoner release. However, the chances of peace returning to the war-torn nation are still hanging on a thread, as the Islamist group has not put a halt to its offensive against Afghan security forces. And now, with several news reports accusing the Taliban of blatantly violating the terms of the Afghan Peace Deal by attacking military bases of US forces in Afghanistan, the hopes for a successful peace agreement between the two warring sides appear even darker. Our report.
Frantic efforts are being made to clear the way for intra-Afghan talks, a critical next step forward in the execution of the US Taliban peace deal. In the latest development, Afghanistan's government has freed all but 7 of the remaining hardcore Taliban inmates, whose release the Taliban had demanded as a precondition for negotiations. Earlier, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani was reluctant to release the remaining 320 prisoners unless the insurgents free the captured Afghan soldiers. Meanwhile, few more countries like France and Australia also urged Kabul not to release these prisoners as they have been convicted of serious violent attacks on foreign citizens. But now, as the last hurdle in the efforts to bring peace in Afghanistan has been removed, Afghan negotiators and Taliban are soon expected to open long-awaited talks in Qatar to negotiate a sustainable ceasefire and the political settlements to years of conflict in Afghanistan.
Agreement that President Ghani has been forced to sign is not the best of agreements where Afghanistan is concerned. It is clear that he has signed this under duress to provide a face-saving way out for the Americans to exit Afghanistan without having to show the world that they have been defeated. They have not been defeated. The fact is, they tried to defeat the Taliban and they have not been successful because their tactics and strategies, the Taliban will find the present Afghan government a very hard nut to crack. So if the Taliban believes that with the exit of the Americans, they have scored a great victory, they will find out this is not the case.
Amid the United States' ramped-up efforts to bring the two warring sides on the negotiating table, the Taliban is not putting a halt to an all-out offensive on the battleground. The insurgent group agreed not to attack American and NATO coalition forces, but it continues to target Afghan forces. In a recent wave of violence, the Taliban launched a complex attack on a military base in the eastern city of Gardez, killing 3 police officers and wounding 5 others. Another obstacle on the way towards peace is the Taliban's reluctance to condemn Al-Qaeda and other Pakistan-based terror outfits. Under the landmark peace deal between the Taliban and the United States, the insurgent group pledged to sever all ties with Al-Qaeda and other terror groups before the total withdrawal of US troops. However, a United Nations report released in June this year revealed that the Taliban still maintains close links to Al-Qaeda and also sought its advice during recent negotiations with US officials. The report also revealed that the Haqqani network, a lethal military arm of the Taliban, in cooperation with Al-Qaeda, is planning to form a new terror group in the region.
Now, where the Taliban is concerned, we know that they are aligned to the Pakistanis. Our worry is Taliban acting as a front paw for the Pakistanis, and they will do things which are not in Afghanistan's interest, they are in Pakistan's interest. So if they take over Afghanistan, and in my opinion that's a very remote possibility, there will be problems. But as long as they are clearly Pakistan's agents in Afghanistan, I think once the Americans exit Afghanistan, the Afghan government, if they are supported by the world community through resources, should be able to tackle the Taliban far more comfortably than we have hitherto suspected.
Meanwhile, the United States is keen to see the peace process move forward so it can withdraw US troops as soon as possible. The US-Taliban peace deal paves the way for withdrawing of all foreign forces from Afghanistan by the end of May 2021. According to President Donald Trump, there would be fewer than 5,000 American troops in Afghanistan by Election Day in November. However, both Kabul and Washington are unsure over the question whether peace will definitely return to the region once the foreign forces depart from the war-torn country.